What's up, everybody? I am Ms.Carter, and I am here to touch on a touchy topic. So if you haven't seen it by now, which I'm sure you have seen it by now, everyone has seen. If you have not seen, because some people choose not to see, you have heard about surviving R.Kelly. And of course, I've watched all three days, all 6 documentaries, series. No comment. Just shame on the man. Just shame on the man. Shame. Since the whole documentary has started, there has been an uproar about, childhood and molestation as a child. So if you don't know, Kales was molested as a child from the age 7 to 14, 7 years, and that's like ridiculously a long time to be molested and be put into a situation that you don't want to be put into, and to be forced to do something you don't want to do, and to do something that's wrong, and that's wrong, and you can't talk to someone, you can't turn to someone, and it's even more disheartening when that type of abuse is brought to you by a family member. And I can speak on that because I've been through that. I know how I feel about the situation now, and I can only imagine, and I thank God that this didn't happen to me, that I didn't have to deal with something like that for 7 years of my life, because I don't know the person I will be today mentally. This is in no way, no shape, any excuse for anything that man has done at all. I'm just speaking on the fact that them being touched as a child happens, and it happens a lot, and we don't talk about it. We don't touch the topic. It's like the forbidden fruit of the family, and I've experienced it. I've experienced it twice on 2 different occasions at 2 different points. I'm spitting, sorry. At 2 different points of my life with both a male and a female. And I told no one. I just started speaking on it now. When I was younger, I told my sister, and we're both kids. She's like 1 year older than me. So she dismissed it, so I dismissed it, and I've never spoke on it since. It's something that you never forget. It's something you can push to the side. It's something you can go on with your life and not harm people. But it's definitely something you never forget. Everybody's case is different. I guess clearly some people do harm people, but I guess that's 7 years of it. Like I said, I don't know, no excuse, but I'm just blessed and grateful that I didn't have to experience 7 years of it. So my first incident happened when I was like really young. I was 6 years. I feel like I was 6. And honestly, I'm good at pinpointing certain parts of my life. I feel like it was before I was 6, because I don't think I was, okay, like I know 6, first grade. I know first grade, Mr. LeBradford Garfield Elementary in Michigan, Flint, Michigan. I was not in that school yet. This was before this, so I had to be younger. My mom was a single mom, and my family helped her out a lot when it came down to watching me. I'm not sure where my mom was at this point, but I stayed a night at my aunt's house. I'm not going to drop any names. After I finish recording this, I am going to have this conversation with my mom, because still to this day, my mom does not know any of the things that I'm about to talk about now. And yeah, so I was at my aunt's house. I remember what house, I remember the room, like certain things that happens in your life that like did something to you or that hurt you, you can remember some details. I remember the house. I remember memories in this house. I remember having a birthday in this house. I remember the floor layout of this house from a kid. But I remember all day my cousin's probably like 6 or 7 years older than me. She wasn't that much older. She was probably 12, 13 at this time. I'm not sure how old she is or was, but she was my older cousin. All day, I remember her asking me, do I want to like go do something fun? Do I want to go do something fun? And if I would be good, then we could go, this is a female, we could do something fun. We could do something fun. And I remember her sister chiming in on it. I doubt my cousin knew what she was talking about when she was saying that. She was just aiding her with, I guess, for me to be good or so. I don't know. But I remember my cousin chimed in, well, you better be good. You better be something. If you don't do something, then you won't get something fun. Either you won't do something fun, we won't go somewhere. It would have to do with somewhere being fun. And me being a kid, of course, I wanted to go. And so I was good, I guess, or whatever. I don't know. But I do remember her waking me up in the middle of the night, touching me. And I remember her saying, remember something about the fun? Like, this is it. Like, I don't know if someone touched her. I don't know how, like, thinking back, because she was young too, for her to have said that to me, for that to even been the conversation, like, I don't know if someone did that to her. Thinking back on it now, because how would, I don't know. But she was like, remember when I said you want to do something fun? Well, this is it. And I remember her touching me. I remember not liking the way she was touching me because I knew that she shouldn't have been touching me that way. And a lot of people always have to be like, where's parents? Where are the parents? Where are the parents? Yes, a lot of times, where are the parents? But sometimes, y'all, ish happens. Ish happens. Because my mom for damn sure did a good job. My mom for dang sure told me about the no-no places. She always told me about my no-no spots. She would touch me here, and she said, those are called your boobies. Nobody touch you there. She would touch me. No, she wouldn't touch me, but she would point down there, and she said, nobody touch you there. If anybody touch you there, you let me. She always told me that. No-no spots. That's what they were called. That's how she demonstrated them to me. Like, these are your no-no spots. If anybody touch you here, all, even up to now, she still talks to me like I'm a kid, y'all. Mom, like, I'm forever my mom's baby. Like, I knew, you touch me there, I'll go tell my mama. She did her part. She let me know. This is my cousin's house. This is my aunt's house. This is a woman. This is, I don't know if I'm giving out too much information on details on who. I don't care. I know people gonna think it's one of my aunts, and the aunt that anybody of my family who is watching this probably think it is definitely not her. It ain't her. It ain't my auntie Tanya's. Let me put that out there. Okay? But it was my aunt, a woman, and it was kids, girl. This was girl. Like, my mom would never have to think twice on this situation. Not whether it's an uncle to give me the whole, you don't do this around a man, no, this, that, and the third. Like, none of that. This is a house, women. So let it be known, my mommy has had conversations with me, and I knew that what she was doing was wrong. She touched me there. She put her mouth down there. And she wanted me to reciprocate it back. Everything that she did to me, back to her. I remember crying. I remember not being a fan of it. And I just never forgot it. I've never seen her the same. We've never talked about it. I don't know if she remember it, but I for dang sure never ever have forgotten it. My mom did tell me when I was younger, I used to like to go over there. She did tell me that I used to never want to be around her, or I never wanted that one to watch me. Like, she don't, you know, like, I guess she just figured I wasn't just vibing with her as family. But I didn't want to be around her because I remembered that she hurt me. I remember crying. I just remember that moment in life. I never wanted to be left alone with her. Even to this point, if I see her going down my Facebook feed, it's just like, you just don't forget those things. And I didn't tell my mom because I was scared to tell my mom. My mama always told me, I'm going to beat they A, I'm going to go to jail. And I knew that it was something wrong that was being done to me. And I knew by me saying something, there would be a rift in the family. Honestly. Because my mama don't play that. My mama don't play that. Like, my mama will F you up. My mom has F'd me up. Whenever I got out of line, whenever I was doing something I wasn't supposed to do, like, my mama had me to business. Like, I got my A whooped for things that I am very grateful she whooped me for, because it molded me into a great person who I am today. But I can only imagine what she would have done to my cousin. And then my cousin mom, I don't know how she would have received it, but I don't know, she would have jumped in trying to fight my mom, or she would have been like, hell yeah, you know? I don't know what would have happened. All I knew was that it happened. I never looked at her the same, and I didn't tell my mom because I knew what she did was bad, and I didn't know how to tell my mom about that situation. I remember, like, that moment, I would say, introduced me to sex. Not saying I went on some type of sex tangent as a kid. I'm just saying that at that point, I knew what sex was. Or I probably didn't know exactly, hey, that was sex, but I knew that that was an inappropriate action. And I knew that that action only was supposed to take place between adults, and that I should have not played a role in it, and that no. I just knew it was wrong, okay? I didn't know it was called sex, but I knew it was wrong. Another time happened when I was probably, I wasn't in middle school at all. This one took place in the care of my father. I'm not sure what was going on, what happened, but me and my sisters and my little brother, we stayed the night at my stepmom's mom house. I don't know, my dad and stepmom probably went out or went on a vacation, something. I don't know, whatever happened, we all ended up staying the night over there. This is why, me and my stepmom didn't share the best relationship growing up. She wasn't the kindest to me. And honestly, I think she got some of her ways from her mother, because her mother also was not the kindest person to me either. I remember this place as well. I remember when you walk in, there's a living room, you walk in the dining room, and then you go through the doors and there's a kitchen. And I remember on this particular day, I remember my sister got her, she was licking the ice cube, and the ice cube got stuck, and she was crying and scared because it was stuck, and I was cracking up. Of course, I got yelled at for cracking up. And her grandma just put some water on it, her lip or her tongue, and it came off. And I remember later on that night, she was like, who's staying in my room or whatever? And I wanted to as well, but she told me no. So both of my sisters, I have an older sister and a younger sister, they both said me, they raised their hand, they let me know that they're going in. I said me as well, of course, but the mom said no to me. I don't know if she said like there wasn't enough room, or it's just going to be her grandbabies. I can't remember, but I remember that I felt some type of way. So me and my little brother slept on the couch. I slept on a couch that's right here this way. It's like one of those singular, is it called love seat? The singular seat that you pull and it reclines out type thing. I slept on that couch, and my little brother slept on the long couch that was back this way. In the middle of the night of me being asleep, his name was Uncle Freddie. He's not my uncle. This was, I guess you would say uncle or whatever, but this was my stepmom's brother. He came into the house that night. I remember him coming in, and I remember nothing. And then I remember some hands touching me. I don't know what it is about this fun place that people talk about, but I remember he was saying something about something fun or somewhere, or it's warm. It was something about fun, or I could do this. I don't know, but he was asking me to come down there on the floor with him. He made a pallet on the floor, I guess. Well, clearly, he made a pallet on the floor. He put his fingers up there and they were touching me where they shouldn't have been touching me. And I woke up. I moved his hand and I woke up. And he said something about, do you want to come down here? It's fun. Something about fun and coming down there. And I said no. And he kept touching me and touching me. And I said no. And I don't remember. I know nothing happened. I know I didn't get on that floor. I know that for sure. I didn't get on that floor with him. And he just touched me. And then I don't remember how that ended. But I do remember the next day we went home and I told my older sister, she's only a year older than me, we're still kids. Hey, I don't know how the conversation honestly went word for word, but I did say, hey, Uncle Freddie touched me. And she was like, for real? I was like, yeah, he touched me like in the wrong way. And she dismissed it, so I dismissed it. But I never forgot it. And ever since then, I put him in the same category as my female cousin. Like, the vibe never been the same. It never been, hey, Uncle Freddie to me. It's never been none of that. Like, but I shut up. I didn't tell nobody. And my mom did her part, because all my life she always asked, even like when I got a lot older, where I could have, and I should have been comfortable enough to like have this conversation. She asked me, has anybody ever touched you inappropriate? Or she broke the shaker who you was, daddy, brother, like she went down. Have anybody? And I told her no, but immediately, yes, I knew and I thought it, but I didn't tell her because I never wanted to know the reaction of it. But I wish I did, so they could have received the reaction of it, because they deserve it. And any rift that would have been brought into the family over my mother protecting me and my innocence, because my innocence was definitely taken away from rape one. The first one was definite. They both were nasty, wrong rape, but that first one was probably more traumatizing than the second one. And I don't know. I don't go to details on those, but it happens. It happens, and it happens a lot more. And I've had a conversation with my friend who let me know, like, it happened with her cousin, and she remembered dismissing it when they were younger, and now looking back on it, it's like, dang, the discussion of being touched as a child is important. I know parents touch on it with their child, but who really thinks that's going to happen to their kid? Like, it's crazy, but it happens. So not only do you need to have a discussion with your child on it, you need to have a whole freaking project. You need to break down everything. If someone do this, someone do that, don't ever be scared to tell me. Don't ever be afraid to fight back. You better scream. You better let it be known. Don't bite your tongue. Don't hold it in. Don't hold it in, because it's going to hurt you later on in the future. And I'm not saying that it hurt me, but like I said, I'll never forget these moments. And I do still harvest some type of feeling, because if I see them, if I hear their name, I just have a million negative things going through my mind. Like, have those conversations. Go there with your child, because what you think they're not experiencing, they actually are experiencing, or know someone who is experiencing it. Like, don't think they're too innocent for anything, because kids aren't too innocent for much these days, the way this society is going. The typical, my 12-year-old at my age is today's 16, 17-year-old. It's really crazy how the young generation is right now. They're very, very advanced. So don't be afraid to have these conversations with your child. And victims, don't be afraid to speak up. And even if this is something that happened 20, 15, 30 years ago, if there's someone you want to tell who you think, like, I feel like I owe I don't know why, but I feel like I need to tell my mom. 20 years later, ain't nothing she can do. I'm pretty sure she will call and cuss out. But it happened so long ago. We all the way down here in Georgia, they all the way up there in Michigan. My uncle, he locked up. Good grace to God. Actually, I think I'm not sure, because I never kept up with him. I just remember someone saying he locked up. I actually think he got locked up on some sexual type stuff. I'm not sure, but I think he did. My little loud mouth was loud about everything else except what I should have been loud about. But I don't know what could have been done, though, to make me feel comfortable to tell her that, to be honest. I don't know. But I hope to figure it out by the time I have a child, so I can make sure I touch that topic and I make sure that every aspect is covered for he or she to come to me and let me know what has happened or who violated them in any aspect, whether it's my brother, whether it's your brother or your sister, whether it was your dad, whether it was your grandpa, whoever touched you. I need you to feel comfortable to tell me. Because I think if it was like a stranger, it would have been easier. Because our next door neighbor, he called me over to his door at my grandmother's. He called me over to his door and he was butt naked. I remember that one, and my granny remembered it too. And my granny went over there and read that man so good. And I think that probably put a rift in between their conversation. I mean, like, my grandma and my neighbor has been neighbors for so long, like since my mom was a child and his kids were kids. That's how long they lived next door to each other. But I remember when he called me over to come to his door, I forgot what he was talking about, but I remember that he was butt naked from his head to his toes, no clothes, just nasty scum. Immediately, when my grandmother came home, I told my grandma. I told my grandma and I told my cousin. And my grandma and my grandfather, they went over there and they gave that man the words, the business. Actually, my grandma didn't tell my grandfather. She told me not to tell my grandfather. She herself went over there and handled the business. And my granny pretty gangster, so Pawpaw didn't have to be told, truth be told. Like, between my grandfather and my grandma had more people shook than he did. So I remember, but that was easy because he was a stranger. So I'm guessing that maybe because I knew this person growing up and because it was family, that's both of them. Like, that's why I didn't say anything. But I'm going to make sure that I'm going to cover it with my baby, that family or not, I don't care who it is, if it should, whoever, tell me and tell dad, or in case it's not dad, you know what I'm saying? Just, I want to make sure that I reach on that I touch on that. Because honestly, my mom probably should have had a conversation with me after it. Because my mind wandered. And I did become sexually active young. But that's another topic for another day. I'm just touching on the topic of molestation and when it happens within the family, and for anyone who has been through it or who is going through it or who may soon unfortunately go through it, to just be brave and have the courage to speak up and to scream if someone else is around, to scream, to be loud, to be heard, because it's wrong and it's damaging and you never forget it. And those two situations were out of my mom or my dad's hand. You know, people always say, where's the parent? Where's the parents? Oh, your parent failed you. I was watching like the little R.Kelly thing, and granted, a lot of their parents did fail them. A lot of them. I just got so many questions when it comes to that freaking documentary. Like, so many questions. But yeah, I know it also like had people like talking about Aaliyah's parents, and like I know her mom came out and said she was always there, but I think people took the always there statement to like an extent of just too much. I think they just overtook it. Like, she specifically was stating what she was stating. She was stating, there's a girl who's about to talk on my daughter's behalf. I don't know that girl. I ain't seen that girl. Tell your story. Don't tell my child's story. And I can agree, because that's probably the one part of the documentary that I did not like. I felt like they had enough evidence without dragging Aaliyah into it. But they did. And she said she was always there whenever it came to tour and all of that stuff. But people looked over that. Well, how was you there when he was sleeping with your daughter or when he married her? She said tour. I think at times they just trust their child and trust this idiot in a studio together, and studios are ours. And I think during those hours, more things taking place than mommy and daddy expected. And they soon found out, and she was soon out of his care, and daddy stepped in and took over. But I know people always question parents. Where's parents? Where parents? Where parents? I would like to believe that not every, because I know there are some bad parents out there, but most parents try and do the best they can to protect their child. I know my mom did an awesome job with me. I know she covered those things with me. Like I said before, I just failed to tell her when it happened to me. And we've talked about everything under the sun. My mom always made me feel comfortable to talk to her about every and anything. But I guess because I knew that what had happened to me was so bad, and because it was from a family member, I just wasn't comfortable to bring that up. And I know my mom used to beat my behind, so I could only imagine her beating my cousin's behind and driving hours to my uncle's house and beating his behind. It's not always the parent fault. This happened twice in two different occasions, and my mom was a pretty darn good mom. So, yeah, my dad never ever touched on that topic, honestly, but my mom did. So, this is my story. I just want to let people know it happens. And it's very common, and I people making it sound like it's just common within the Black community. I think it's common throughout all ethnicities, to be honest with you. I think it should be a conversation, and we should speak up about it. And we should, if you're young, tell your parents, because actions like that should be followed up with a conversation. And maybe I needed that conversation. What conversation? I don't know, but I needed a treatment after those things that happened to me. I don't know. So speak up, be heard, be loud. Don't be ashamed. You done nothing wrong. I know sometimes things is easier said than done. If you can't say it, text it. If you can't text it, write it down and leave it in your parents' room or something. But let it be known if something wrong is being done to you, especially from a family member, because family's supposed to be all you got. Okay? If nobody got you, family got you. So it's kind of disheartening when it's family that's hurting you. Will it hopefully bring closure for you? I'm not going to necessarily say the word closure, but it can stop that person, possibly stop that person from hurting someone else, because they got checked in the beginning. Some people are able to put it behind them, and some people become R.Kelly. So Stop yourself before you come in R.Kelly. I hope not too many of you guys have experienced what I experienced mentally. But I do hope that if someone is going through anything, that they speak out. I don't care when it happened. If you still feel some type of way about it, speak out. Let it be known. If you got the balls to address the person who hurt you, no matter when it happened, do it. Speak out. Let them know you didn't forget. Let them know you remember this action. Because I know if I see my two again, I'm speaking out. I'm going to let them know I didn't forget. Even if they forgot, I'm going to remind them. It hurt me. I remembered it even to this day. Be brave, and God bless.